Greetings, playthings. With All Hallows Eve approaching, I thought, in a totally not at all commercial kind of way, why not look at some scary stories, or rather, what are sometimes called urban legends. For all you kids out there, an urban legend is like a creepypasta, but better. With a little online investigation, you can usually trace a pasta to its source. Plus, they often push things a little bit too far, so the whole story is obviously BS. Urban legends are stories passed around by word of mouth, so finding their origin is often far trickier. And, while details may be changed or exaggerated with each telling, there remains a possibility of them being rooted in something true. And for older people, a creepypasta is like an urban legend, but, just strike all that I said before and reverse it. I thought I'd start with the first urban legend I remember being told as a child. Luckily, it did me no long-term psychological harm. As with many legends, there are numerous variations of the tale, so I will simply recount the version I first heard. It begins with a couple, a young man and woman, driving down a long, lonesome road. The engine begins to rattle, then to splutter and die, leaving the lovers stranded miles from the nearest gas station. You can already tell this story happened decades ago. Were it to have happened now, you would have to write in some line about there being no signal, or them both having misplaced or forgot to charge their phones. In any case, that night there was no phone in sight, only black trees and decaying leaves carried by the wind. The man decided that he will go find help, leaving the woman alone in the car. As she waits, the young woman turns on the radio. Very little happening in the world. War about to be declared, taxes going up, deranged serial killer on the loose, puppy saves kitten from drowning. A typical news day. So, she switches off the radio and falls asleep. She is awoken by a thud on the roof. Lost in that haze between dreaming and wakefulness, she blinks to focus, seeing only the road as it was. A fallen branch perhaps, or a bird or a squirrel. And then, blinking, back to sleep. Again she is awoken by a thud, but this time it's followed by another and another. Now a persistent drumming on the roof of the car. And the road is no longer as it was, blinking now into the headlights of another car and the silhouette of a police officer. The officer commands her to slowly step out of the vehicle and to walk toward him. She does so. He tells her to keep her eyes on him and do not look back. Over and over he tells her to not look back. Do not turn around. But each time he tells her, the urge to do so grows and grows until she looks. There is a man standing on the roof with the head of her boyfriend, held aloft by a hook on this man's hand, who brings it down, hammering it over and over on the roof of their car. In this version of the story, the woman survives. There are, however, numerous similar stories and variations. Sometimes the man leaves to investigate scratching, only to turn around and see his lover murdered by a hook. Sometimes the woman sees the man hanging from a tree. Sometimes they're both killed, perhaps after some hanky-panky. The story dates to at least the 1950s, perhaps inspired by real-life Lovers Lane murders in the US. And in turn this, and stories like it, were likely the inspiration for the whole genre of slasher movies. Now, as an urban legend, I'll give this tale 6 hooks out of 10, it being the baseline by which I'll judge other legends in the future. But it is a classic. It's short, it's simple, and in that simplicity there is plausibility. I mean, it could definitely happen to me, as I constantly forget to charge my phone. So I suppose the moral is to bring your own phone. That's if you're going anywhere with me. The moral of this story is probably something else. Oh, and lock your car doors. In fact, lock all your doors. And until next time then, mortals.